I am going to walk you guys through more or less just an all-purpose warm-up. You can use this before any time you're gonna hit the training floor for strength work. If you've been sitting throughout the course of the day and you need a movement break, this whole thing is going to take less than 10 minutes from start to finish. And our goal here is just to try to cover a lot of different planes of movement to encourage blood flow to our muscles, to our joints, to our tendons, and to our ligaments. So we're going to start with just a squat. Okay, we're going to do 10 reps. We're going to take it nice and slow, find whatever squat stance feels the best for you, and then just take it nice and slow. Just come down, you're breathing in on the way down. Let the knees open up, find a good bottom position, exhale, squeeze your legs. 10 reps as we go, pushing our knees out, making sure our big toe, our pinky toe, and our heel are all maintaining contact with the floor. As I go, if I find myself getting a little bit more mobile, I'm going to try to take advantage of that range of motion. If I'm feeling particularly stiff, then I'm just going to use the available range of motion I've got at the time. Again, breathe in on the way down, breathe out on the way up. I'm just trying to get things warmed up. I'm trying not to exhaust any of the muscles that I'm going to be using. Once you've worked through your squat, now we're going to work through a couple of different lunge patterns. We're going to do what's called a clock lunge. Okay, so we're going to be stepping forward, to the side, and backwards in just an alternating fashion. Okay, so what we're actually going to do is, as we take a step forward, a step out, I'm going to drop into a lunge, and then what I'm going to do is put my hand on my foot, and I'm just going to rotate up toward the ceiling, so I'm adding some spinal movement there. I push back, step off to the side. Okay, nice straight leg, really opening up my hip. Push back. Now I'm going to go backwards. Step back. That's 1 rep. We're doing 5 each direction. Big step forward, hand down, rotate up, push back. Nice straight leg, really opening this knee up, push back. Breathe in. Again, I'm trying to keep my breathing going with my movement. We're just going to go through. I'm doing every rep with you. So you're doing this in real time. Step out, push back. Okay, we're gonna have 2 more. Then we'll do the other leg the exact same way. Rotating up, push back. It's using whatever range of motion you've got. Trying to keep a nice flat back. We're trying not to rush any of this. This is considered a dynamic warm-up, which means we're not sitting and just holding a stretch, we're moving. Dynamic does not mean hurry up and finish it as fast as you can. Now we've done 5, we're just gonna go the other side, exact same way. Step out, hand on your foot, rotate up, and push back. Step off to one side, push back. Good. Step forward, hand on your foot, try to breathe out, get up as far as I can. You might feel one side's got a little bit more motion than the other. Absolutely fine. And we're just kind of get a little bit better as we go. Step, rotate up, push back, out. There should be 3 if I'm still counting right. Step out, up, and I can feel myself getting a little bit better as I go. One more time. Step, rotate up, we'll go to the side, and then we'll go back one more time. Okay, so we have 5 on each side. Okay, for our third movement, I'm holding just a real light weight. This is a 10-pound weight. If you don't even have access to any weight, that's totally fine if you've got something super, super light. Could even be a book. Okay, but what we're gonna do is a little bit of a combination of some rotational movement and some hamstring mobility. We're just gonna do 5 of these on each side. I'm gonna start with my weight right at my hips. I'm I'm gonna reach towards one foot so I feel the hamstring on this side open up, and I'm just gonna rotate across the other side. Okay, just in a chopping motion. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Letting that foot twist a little bit if you want to. And then we'll go to the other side. Again, I'm not trying to do so many that I exhaust myself, just trying to get blood flowing. Exhale, hamstring stretch, using my core, lower back to rotate as I go. There we go. Okay. So now our next couple of things are going to bring us down to the floor. The first thing we're going to do on the floor is called a cat-cow. So all you're doing is alternating your spine position between positions that closely emulate those two animals. So we're going to go into an all fours position, hands under our shoulders, knees under our hips. I'm going to keep this really, really simple. Okay, first, I'm just going to push myself as far away from the floor as I can, allowing my spine to round. This is the cat part of the movement. And then I'm pushing my chest down, pulling my hips up, creating a little bit of an arch. There's your cow position. Just going back and forth from flexing the spine to extending the spine. And we're just going to do 10 of these. Good. Keep my hands under my shoulders, knees under my hips. The numbers that I'm giving you are just guides. Feel free if you feel like you need a little bit more to do a little bit extra. We'll do one more. I think this is 10. If I'm doing too many, then awesome, you get some extra reps out of it. Okay, so now we're going to reinforce our back position and continue to work on some of the hip and hamstring and even ankle flexibility here with a downward dog. So we can do this in two different ways depending on what your strength level is. We're going to start off as a push-up to a downward dog. So we're going to work our chest and our triceps. From this position, we come all the way down into a push-up. We press ourselves up to arm's length, and then we continue by pushing our hands into the floor, driving our hips up nice and high, and pushing our heels down to the floor. Return back, push up, and stick the hips up. If you don't have the strength to incorporate the full push-up, you can just remove the push-up and simply just rotate back and forth from the downward dog to the leveled off push-up position. Okay, so that's how you would regress it. Otherwise, you would just continue on with the full push-up and then back. And then our very, very last thing is what's called a curl up. Okay, so this is not quite a crunch. It's not a sit-up. What we are trying to do is take our spine from our ribs up and simply extend it this direction. We're trying to get used to just moving through our abdominals and not allowing our head or our neck to be actively contributing to the motion. We're also trying to make sure that we're able to keep tension in the abdominals throughout the entire motion. So when we reach the bottom position, we don't want to relax and see this, where we lose any sort of active tension here. I want to be able to keep just a flat and neutral spine position. So even right here, the muscles are still engaged. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate this with that weight. You can do this with, again, a very light weight, or even you can just do it with extending your arms up toward the ceiling. All I'm going to do is, again, I make sure I've got that tension right here. Okay, my head is forward, but it's going to maintain this position. I'm going to inhale, Reach toward the ceiling, exhale. Inhale, being very careful not to lose my abdominal tension. Exhale, inhale, and we're gonna do 10 of these. My goal is to keep my arms just straight up and down to the floor, so I'm not using my arms to contribute and cheat. You don't see me bringing the weight back to give me momentum. It stays just straight up and straight down. We're gonna do 5 more of these. 1. But, depending on what your strength level is, if 10 is too many and you're actively fatiguing your abdominals, you may want to stop a little bit short of 10, as the intention is to warm up and not to fatigue. All right, so that is your entire warm up from start to finish. Whole thing should be less than 10 minutes. So feel free to use this to follow along. You can do this pre-workout. You can do this before cardio. You can do this if you've been sitting all day at your desk. But take advantage of this and use this just to stay mobile throughout the day. There you go.